What's up, everybody? Charlie Marlow here. Want to talk about some Cardinals baseball. John Mozeliak specifically. First off, though, Cardinals opening day after the rain delay. Nice win. Looked good. 1-0. We move on. We'll see what happens. But I think what happened before the game, pregame ceremonies, very, very interesting. John Mozeliak. So he did his media scrum. And if you guys saw the clip, I commented on X, and he was joking around about, look, hey, maybe if they boo me, they got their way. I'm leaving. I'm gone. And he was laughing. He was saying this tongue in cheek. The reason I bring this up is I first saw this in print, and in print on a tweet, I'm like, wow, that sounds kind of bad. But then I watched the video, and it's very clear that he's joking with the media folks. Obviously, John Mozeliak knows anything he says to the media, the fans are going to see it. But again, I think if you watch the clip, right, he's having fun with the media. He's talking tongue-in-cheek. Okay, so also, I know, and I wasn't there, by the way, but I watched the pregame ceremonies after the fact. I actually watched them last night after the game. And I know Bill DeWitt Jr. was booed a bit. BW3 was booed a bit. And so when Mozeliak said, I wonder if I'll be booed and how much and all that, I'm thinking, how much will he be booed? And even if Cardinal fans, you don't like this, some of the loud, angry ones, I think the Cardinals did something very smart, very strategic, but also I think John Mozeliak deserved this. They did that video tribute, and they showed all the great times, all the great years in the World Series and the run from 2011 to 2015. And look, it's a lot harder to boo John Mozeliak after you see that video tribute. And also, it gets in your feels, right, when you remember those great times. And by the way, that doesn't mean that it's been good after that. I get that. And we will talk about that. But I thought that was smart on the Cardinals. I know people still booed, right? And I was watching on the broadcast, and I texted a couple people that were there. I said, did they pump up the music to try to drown out some of the boos? Because it sounded like that on the TV broadcast. Either way, if you want to boo John Mozeliak, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. If you want to cheer him, it's all good. I would, though, like to just add some context and perspective to my tweet. This is what we do in the content game, right? You tweet something, and then you do another video based on the negative comments, okay? That's what we do. But I do think it's kind of interesting. I said something along the lines of, and I'll put the tweet up, something along the lines of, look, I'm going to miss John Mozeliak. And I said in my tweet, we know the last couple years haven't been good. Last several years, relatively mediocre by Cardinal standards, downward trend, all those things. I said, look, he's a good dude, and he did bring a World Series to St. Louis. And of course, everybody's like, it wasn't his World Series. It was Luno. It was Jockety. It was TLR. By the way, he was running the show when they won the World Series in 2011. And if you run the show, you get credit. This is like football. Everybody knows this. The head coach and the quarterback, you get too much credit when things are going well. When you win the Super Bowl, you get too much blame when things are going poorly and you lose. Everybody knows that. I'm not saying John Mozeliak was the only reason they won in 2011. I'm not saying he was the only reason that they went on that run, but he was a big part of it. And he was running the show, and he gets credit for that in the same way he gets a lot of blame for what's been happening the last 2, 5, 7 years, the downward trend we all know, going back to, 13 they get to the World Series, but 14, 15, then the drop off after that. But what I was also saying is, I'm going to miss the dude, and I'm not even down there anymore, by the way. I'm going to miss the dude because I know. John Mozeliak is the figurehead of St. Louis sports for the entire time that I've been in St. Louis. I moved here in April of 2008. 2008, the first year John Mozeliak took over. So you tell me, who's been the face of St. Louis sports for that period of, 17 years? Okay, who from the Blues? Jordan Bennington, love him, Army. They haven't been here the whole time. You can say, okay, Pujols for the first half, then he leaves. Yadier Molina was there pretty much the whole time. And I understand, look, I'm basing this off myself when I moved here. Yachty was here. Yachty retired a couple years ago, whatever it is. What I'm saying, though, is you can make the argument. I would make this argument that John Mozeliak has been the face of St. Louis sports, the figurehead, certainly of the Cardinals, but maybe of all St. Louis sports, for the entire time I've lived in St. Louis, which is now not a short time, it's 17 years. And that's kind of what I meant. I'm going to miss him from that standpoint. Just seeing him doing interviews, right? Whether it's opening day, end of the year, throughout the season, if you're watching on TV, all the media stuff, John Mozeliak has always been the face of the Cardinals since I've been here. And that's what I meant. And also personally, John Mozeliak, I think he's a good dude. He was always really good to me. And by the way, I haven't been down there in a long time. And my last couple years, even in TV, were COVID years where we weren't down there as much. So I feel kind of detached from the Cardinals on a regular basis, probably since COVID, honestly. The last real interactions was that spring training, basically in 20 before the world changed. So that's what I'm trying to say. Mozeliak was always good to me. When I left TV, sent me a nice text message. I know you don't care about that, but these people, they are human beings, all right? And so that's what I meant when I said I'll miss John Mozeliak. And that doesn't mean that I think John Mozeliak should still be the president of baseball operations. On the radio the last couple of years, I thought he should have basically moved on and deferred to Chaim Bloom, whether you want to say this past offseason or earlier. I've said that a million times. So everybody in my mentions just ripping on me, and, oh, he's destroyed this franchise and all that. And look, I get all those things. I get what you're saying. I don't even disagree with all of them. At the end of the day, I think he's a good dude. I think he did a lot of great things for the Cardinals. Name the bad move John Mozeliak made in like his first 7, 8, 9 years. We used to joke about that. The worst move was Ty Wigginton. If your worst move is Ty Wigginton for the better part of the decade, and then of course, we talk about the negatives too. And you can talk about the Ozuna trade, and you can talk about Arozarena and Matt Carpenter extension, Brett Cecil, Dexter Fowler. We know there's more. I get all those things. I'm looking big picture. I'm looking body of work. I understand if you guys don't do that. I also think time heals all wounds, right? Look at Mike Matheny coming back and doing interviews and being at the field and all that. Mike Matheny was beloved as a player, started out great as a manager. At the end of him being a manager, let's be real, people did not like Mike Matheny at all. Some people hated Mike Matheny. Time heals all wounds. He goes away. He manages somewhere else. He comes back. You put the jersey on, you wave, you get a big ovation, you remember the good times. Same thing's going to happen with John Mozeliak, guys, and you know I'm right about that. Whatever John Mozeliak does after this year, I don't know what he's going to do, stay in baseball, go somewhere else. I have no freaking clue. But as time moves on, as time wears on, you're going to remember the good times. I don't know when this is going to happen, but I can guarantee you this. It's 2025 right now. It'll probably happen before this, but just think about 2031. They're going to blow it up. They're going to have a 20-year reunion of the 2011 team. They're going to have all kinds of bobbleheads, and they're going to have a day where everybody's out there. And John Mozeliak's going to come out there, and all those players, and David Freese, and Albert Pujols, and whoever else, Chris Carpenter, they're all going to be on the field wearing jerseys and all that. And you're going to remember the good times. You're going to remember the good years of Mo. Time is going to have passed. You're going to forget about all the negative stuff at the end. I'm telling you, that's going to happen. I 100% guarantee that's going to happen. So I wanted to add some context and perspective to my tweet because you guys, a lot of you guys ripped me. A lot of people agreed with me. But again, I wanted you to know, I didn't think John Mozeliak should still be the president of baseball operations. I was talking big picture, right? I know you guys are frustrated, and I get that. And by the way, if you're frustrated with your banking, Triad Bank. TriadBanking.com. Best thing I ever did for my rental property business, taking all my loans from a big national bank that doesn't care about me to a local bank, Triad Bank. St. Louis Lawn Care, right? Especially, get your lawn care cut. We're starting up here soon. Get your mulch for the spring. St. Louis Equipment, if you want to buy a mower, get your mower repaired, stlmowerrepair.com. The mulch actually, I think the mulch technically comes from St. Louis Equipment. That's where it is, St. Louis Lawn Care. Basically, same ownership. The companies are intertwined. You know what I'm saying? And then also Corner Butcher and Chop House out there in the beautiful Fenton Valley Park area, Corner Butcher West. All right. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. This video basically about John Mozeliak's legacy. I think I said everything I wanted to say. Maybe I missed a few things, but there it is. John Mozeliak, really good early in his tenure, not as great late. Big picture, World Series, a lot of wins. I think he's a good dude. I understand if you guys are disappointed with him. People talking about the bow ties and all that and the sweaters, and people say he comes across smug. I understand that line of thinking too. I don't think he does that by design. I just think that's who he is, and he's being authentic. And don't you want people to be authentic, right? I try to be. All right. Peace out. Comment, like, subscribe. Love you all. Go Cardinals. Just a nice little video, about 10, 11 minutes, on John Mozeliak's legacy.